On the hot seat this year. It's unfortunate. It comes with the territory.
And it's a Panther sack. Mario Addison. He's the one that got to him. He takes him down for a loss of 9.
And so much for that great field position to start the game. Now they're way behind the sticks. Can't wait to see what their second down call is going to look like now.
After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here.
In a 4-3 front, you got the 2 defensive tackles right near the football. I know there's a lot of movement around there, but they're always taught to have one eye on the football. Apparently, that didn't happen.
On second down, here's Mixon. And he's got room. And they can't put... He's got the lane, and there he goes. And he finally goes. They better watch out for this guy, or it's going to be a long game.
Back when I played in our scouting reports getting ready for games, we put stars next to the guys that we thought were the key players on the other side. There should have been 3 or 4 stars next to that guy's name.
So from Panther territory now, it's 1st and 10, all the way down at the 21-yard line. Back to Mixon on 1st down. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 5 there, bringing up 2nd. A tale of 2 extremes. First carry, he went for a bundle. His second.
And sometimes you force a run a little bit, right? Trying to break off that big carry again. And instead, it works opposite.
Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Green. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down.
All that practice time came to fruition on that play. All those timing routes that they worked on through training camp, OTAs, minicamp, and just regular season, they got it done on that one. An out cut, ball was delivered, and picked up the completion.
To the left side here for Eifert. The gain of 5 that time gives him the conversion and makes it 1st and goal.
That throw's not going to get them a whole lot down, and I'm going cliche here. Game of inches, partner.
Absolutely. And you talked to me a lot about opening drives, how key those are to set the tone. You kept the drive alive. 3rd down conversion here is big. That'll bring up 2nd and goal after the gain of 5. In the backfield out of the starting group, you have to look out for Giovanni Bernard.
And you have to make sure you're ready to hit the spin button with this guy. Awfully exciting in the open field.
2nd and goal from inside the 5. They get it to him running left. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd. Driven it down the field nicely here on the opening drive, but now it's put up or shut up.
No doubt about it, because to make that type of a drive and ultimately kick a field goal would feel very disappointing. But I'm just wondering, is the head coach thinking, is this 4-down territory? Might he go for it?
Toward the pylon, caught. A 4-yard pickup, not enough. 4th down.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game. But it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go up and make the tackle right away.
So put this one through, and the Bengals are on the board first here. It's 3-0. So a pretty good opening drive. That'll make the home fans somewhat happy. They wanted 6, but they got 3 in the early lead.
And they should be happy. The guys look good getting down the field. That's got to give them a little bit of hope that good things are in store here today for them.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. So here are the Panthers now for their opening drive. They will be led out by their starting quarterback since his arrival back in 2011. It's Cam Newton.
2 years after leading the Panthers to the Super Bowl, he did get them back into the playoffs in 2017. Unfortunately, they fell in the first round. Just 206 yards passing per game, the lowest total of his career. I think a lot of that was due to injuries on the offensive line and the lack of big-time weapons outside. The Panthers in the last 2 drafts, though, have tried to address that. Look for those numbers to climb up again for Cam Newton.
First carry of the game for Christian McCaffrey. And this defense feeling the encouragement. They stop him at the line of scrimmage on the first play of the afternoon. Carlos Dunlap, the defensive end, the one to bring him down. And the offensive starters for the Panthers.
And Christian McCaffrey, one of my favorite players in the 2017 draft. He didn't disappoint. Had 80 catches as a rookie. Look for him to be more actively involved in the running game in 2018. Yes, he can run between the tackles.
On second down, here's Newton. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable.
Throwing on third down, Newton. Escaping the pressure right. He can run for it, and he will. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. Newton able to use those legs and get past the marker to pick up the first.
Oh, my Cam. There's times when I'm not analyzing up here. I'm just appreciating. Led NFL quarterbacks in rushing last year. He is truly the ultimate weapon at that position.
Pass incomplete. Darquez Denard there defensively.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight. Unable to find anyone open.
Back to the air, Newton on second down. It's hauled in by Torrey Smith. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another first down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Over the middle to Smith. Sharp there with his feet, gets him a little extra space, and then dropped just inside the 20. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
His first catch of the game, good for 11 and a first down. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
They'll give it to him up the middle. And he'll find his way down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. Only a couple yards there, and that's going to set up a long 3rd and goal.
Partner, I know we're in a goal-to-go situation, but my goodness, think about running the ball here. Not even a thought, is it?
Defensively, they're in a prime spot.
And I think the defensive guys are probably expressing themselves to them as well. I wouldn't run it here, guys. You might want to try throwing it.
He'll wind up getting 4 yards there on his own, but it also brings up 4th down. So just a lone field goal in this first quarter of play. 3-0 is our score. We'll return to Cincinnati after this.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
With my good friend Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin with you. It's the Panthers in possession of the football as we begin quarter number 2. They are, however, facing a fourth down situation. And Gano's kick is right through. And that will tie us at 3-3. A dozen plays on that drive that ends with the field goal.
Let's go ahead and break out some of the old chestnuts here, right, partner? Keep the ball in front, rally to it, and make the tackle, right? No big plays given up, no balls over your head. Bend, don't break.
Hold on. Chestnuts?
You like
Come
that
on.
one?
What does that mean, break out? That just because you break chestnuts?
I'm not sure about that, but I'm just going with why they said that. I have no idea.
So here's Dalton and the Bengals now. 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Now a play fake here on 1st down. Green's got it over the middle. And they're going to get this one all the way out across the 45. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. And he works his way forward for about 4 up to the midfield stripe.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
They'll stay on the ground, mix it again. And he'll get across midfield and into Carolina territory. 2 yards the gain there, and now they're left with a 3rd and about 4 for a first.
When we talk about Luke Kuechly, you can't talk about his overall game without talking about his intelligence and how he controls the whole defense. He quarterbacks that defense, and at times, actually make checks, just like a quarterback would on offense to get them into the right defense. They definitely were on that play. How about that finish? Holding that to a minimal gain.
A gain of 26 on the 3rd down conversion.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time. Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, and have them back on their heels.
And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Call that a loss of 5 yards on the play. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him.
And he lost the football. And the Panthers have recovered.
We have seen this before, and we know coaches preach about this and work on it all the time. Catch the ball. You know there's going to be some traffic somewhere. They've got to put it away and secure it as they try and get downfield.
Here's Newton. They'll set up the screen to McCaffrey. And he's able to get this one up to the 45-yard line. And a nice gain of 21 yards. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10. Pitching it out to McCaffrey. Showed the nice footwork and then hit and drop shy of the 45. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. They stay on the ground. McCaffrey again. And he's brought down. A nice pickup there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
A good run there off right tackle in an old-school NFL football. The right side of the offensive line, often known as the nasty side. The left side, usually the technical side. Kind of reminds me of the old Atlanta Falcons 2009-2010. That's how they constructed their offensive line.
Looking left side and completing it to Thomas. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first.
Nice connection there with Ian Thomas, a rookie out of Indiana. And he's one of those guys that I truly believe his best football is ahead of him. Always has been a consistent blocker. His receiving gets better and better. I thought in 2017 with IU, he was terrific. And now, he gives a great addition to the Carolina Panthers passing game. Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man.
Well, that's why the guy with the headsets is down there. All right, they know what they're doing because they got stuffed on the running play on first down. And I think myself and probably the fans were saying throw the football in this situation. But he knew what he was doing, called another run, and now they've got 3rd and short.
2 minutes to play in a tightly contested first half. We'll come back to Cincinnati after this. We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll take you to Orlando and Jonathan Coachman. Coach will have highlights and analysis of this first half, one that's featured no touchdowns as of yet on either side.
So his job's a little bit easier for this halftime.
Need to give the coach some highlights here.
Yes, we do.
And Gano's kick is right through. And they will take the lead here in this battle of field goals at 6-3. So we're trading first half field goals. No breakthrough on the touchdown front. We've got a 6-3 game.
Yeah, and I know so many people look at a game through offensive eyes, right? They want to see how the game's played that way. You know how I'm going to view it, right? The defenses, to me, have responded well in this game. Like what I'm seeing from them, both of them hoping to keep it to field goals and not give up big touchdowns.
So now the Bengal offensive unit back out onto the field. And last time the turnover on the fumble, and they were in enemy territory, so that had to be very frustrating. Down on the scoreboard here, can't do it again.
You nailed every part of what was frustrating. Down on the scoreboard, had a drive going, had pushed it past the 50-yard line, so they felt like they were in striking distance, and to come away with nothing, not a good feeling at all, to put it mildly. Now they can't afford to do that again.
Yeah, now can they get that bad taste out of their mouth here? Second and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down.
Over here, over here. You're good. Lady!
Second down, Dalton. Over the middle, complete. That's Erickson. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a first down. Now Dalton. He finds Ross, right side, it's complete. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. That goes for a gain of 31. Nice completion there for Andy Dalton. Charles, you worked some of his games when he was at TCU. Now you've worked his games in the NFL. What progression have you seen?
I've seen a guy who took over as a freshman in college and got better and better each year. Always added a little bit more to his game, got stronger. But the best part about him is he's always been accurate.
Now Dalton with a 1st and 10. Flush to his right. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Andy Dalton now, only one pass has hit the ground for him, 10 of 11 thus far. It's 1st and 10. A first down throw coming for Dalton. To the sideline. Wow, what a catch. Doesn't get a lot out of it, but he is able to keep the feet in bounds. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. It's 2nd down. Dalton looking. And he's got it. Touchdown, Bengals.
touchdown does not give them an insurmountable lead, it's still a lead, and that always feels good to a team.
They'd love to take that into the lockers, but a little time left on that clock, so some work to do.
I like that. I like how you're guarding against a letdown there.
Are you looking forward?
Coaching them up from right up here in the booth.
On for the point after is Randy Bullock. Extra point up and good by Bullock, and that will make this a 4-point game. So that drives 6 plays. And it ends with a Bengals score. Bullock out now to kick this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Here are the Panthers now as their offense comes back out onto the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Here's Newton now on 2nd down. This one complete to Devin Funchess. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. Newton finding Funchess for the Panther first down.
We didn't need to ask around the league, but we got to confirm this guy's a good player. They've got to find a way to get him more involved, call a few more plays that target him.
Absolutely, because here we are toward the end of the first half, and that's the first target, not just the first catch, first target. On first down, this is McCaffrey. And across midfield he goes and into Bengal territory. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. A final shot before the break. Newton. And this will be incomplete. 1 second left to go. So with 1 second left in the half, on is the field goal unit. This to equal Matt Prater's record. It's a 64-yard attempt. That's running out of steam, and it won't get there. He left it just short. No good. So we've reached halftime as we'll head down to Orlando. That's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. And welcome, everyone, to this abridged version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. We want to remind you that new this year in regular season games, I'll take you around the NFL and give you stats and scores from games in progress, as well as look back at games that have already been completed. So keep an eye out for that. But for now, let's get you back out to Brandon and Charles.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Bengals set to receive. They have the lead and the football to begin quarter number 3. And he will be marked down right there at the 20-yard line. Out come the Panthers. They'll have it first on offense in the 3rd quarter. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Takes this one across the 35 to the 36, a gain of about 4. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on second down.
On second down, McCaffrey. And some room to run now. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. We'll give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs.
Would you say this offense is locked in right now?
They're having no trouble on this drive. What is it, 3 plays, 3 first downs?
Yeah, you talk about on the march. They keep this up, they'll get to that end zone real fast.
He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete.
Trying to get that one to his tight end, and they've been trying to get the ball to him, but as of yet, unable to successfully complete one. But you know there's usually a nice comfort zone and throw into the tight end. Great sight lines, usually right in the middle of the field.
Smith catches left side. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. That catch good for 5. It's third down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go, because he might wander into some tough coverage.
The throw is Newton. And right with it here over the middle. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's fourth down.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up, keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first. And the surge is going to be too much defensively. He's hit and taken down to the backfield. Christian McCaffrey unable to get to the marker. And this defense will take over right at midfield. Here we go with a player's spotlight, and we shine that spotlight on Andy Dalton. And they must have seen something leading up to this one that said, hey, we're going to be able to go deep, because they've gone deep with a lot of success.
And pick your phrase, pick your code words, your buzzwords, whatever, vertical stretch, deep passes, go routes, right? What's that route you love? What's that route? 4 verts. All of it working because they're able to find ways to get deep, and for him to show off that big, big arm.
We see some of that big arm right here. He has been great. From midfield here, Dalton. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Green. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. The completion good for 3, and it's second down. And there they went crossing route against the zone defense. What do you think of that?
Takes real coordination between the passer and the receiver, because you got to read those zones and where the open spots are and be on the same page with the guy throwing the football, because sometimes you're throwing it in front of the zone, sometimes you're throwing it between the zones, sometimes the receiver's going to just kind of find a spot and what we call sit down and present himself to the quarterback and throw it there. It's a tough read, but when they're in sync, it's really effective.
So Dalton now, and Eifert has it. And he'll be taken down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
Well, sometimes our pregame meetings do pay off, don't they? What do the guys in the locker room call him?
Well, they said it with a chuckle. They called him Old Reliable.
Yeah, that means he doesn't move quite as fast as he used to, but he still knows all the tricks, doesn't he? Even that little gentle push-off in order to get open. He finds a way to pick up a first down.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense, when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
And he'll get about 4 as he's brought down at the 24.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did, to get them into a manageable third down, because they had the incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
Third down, a shot here for Dalton. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. They'll give him a yard on the play, and that's going to make it fourth down. So out comes the field goal team now for the second time here today. He connected on his first, this from 41. And Bullock will put this one through, and that'll open the lead up to a touchdown now at 13-6. Well, looking at it from a defensive perspective, that keeps the deficit very, very manageable. You know, all things considered, not a bad job on the defensive side.
I would say that you've pointed out something pretty good right there, and that is you actually have both sides happy with that exchange. You know, happy in quotes, of course. One team, hey, we've kept it within range. The other side saying, hey, we put points on the board and did stretch out the lead. Let's see how this one turns out.
Yeah, still bottom line, though, 3 points for the opening drive of the third quarter. On 1st and 10, Newton. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. 12 yards there as they move the chains. First down. Here's the run with Anderson. And he'll take this one up close to about the 45. Vontaze Burfict, the one to get him down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And he'll be taken down by the Bengal pressure. Carlos Dunlap in there to bring him down for a loss of 7.
Now, that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack. That's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover.
It's caught inside the 25. A big play there for Carolina. 45 yards.
Well, they just treated 3rd and long as simply an opportunity to make an even bigger play. Normally, you're just trying to pick up the first down, and you know where the sticks are. They took this thing way downfield. Confidence in the receivers to go up and make a play, even with defenders around them.
Geno Atkins, the Pro Bowler, in there on the stop.
Early down stuff's to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority one.
Able to get away. And here he'll get it down to the 7. 8 yards that time, able to take off, and the result is a first down.
And we have to give credit to him for buying time and extending the play. But you know there's some really upset defenders on that one. They thought that they had him. Instead, he was coated in Teflon and got away.
They'll try to run with McCaffrey. And he's going to press this one forward as they stop him right around the 1. He'll get 6 on the ground there, and it'll be 2nd and goal coming up. So it'll be 2nd and goal when we return. We've played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now in Cincinnati. It's the Panthers in possession of the football, but facing a deficit here as we get to the 4th and final quarter of play. 2nd and goal from the 1. On the ground, McCaffrey. And he takes it into the end zone for a Panthers touchdown. A great play there. Taking it in from a yard out. And the Panthers are now an extra point away from tying up this game.
I wonder if he changed anything on his play sheet or they just executed better. Because they had 2 previous drives that ended in field goals. Before this one, they finally were able to put into the end zone.
Well, whatever he did, speaking of the offensive coordinator, might be using that formula going forward. It worked there.
Yeah, it worked very well. He and his field general in pretty good sync right now. They're starting to move the ball well.
Don't forget the extra point. It's up and good. And we are tied here in the 4th quarter. So here comes the kickoff now, all even here in this 4th quarter. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it I like the way you described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. Dalton, 1st and 10. And the catch good. It's Eifert. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. That one good for 15, and the Bengals get a 1st down.
It is hard in zone coverage to stop a curl route because when they see it, they just try and find the open spot and sit down.
Yeah, we always talk about finding the soft spot in the zone. What's the key to doing that? How do you do it?
You have to read what the coverage is. Is it 2 deep? Is it 3 deep? Because then you know where the linebackers are going to drop, what spots on the field they naturally get to, and you find that open space, and then you're in sync with your quarterback. He should be reading the exact same thing, and they put the ball right on you.
So he was holding from that left tackle position.
Everyone tries to keep their hands inside when they're blocking ever since they liberalized the rules where you can extend them out. But sometimes they get out a little wide and they get detected grabbing some cloth.
And Dalton to throw. Green with a catch left side. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
There's nothing like getting out of the gate and finding your favorite target. Andy Dalton just did that with A.J. Green.
And some people call that a nice fantasy football connection as well.
Yeah, they're piling up the points that way. They want to see that continue.
Andy Dalton. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. Dalton with a give here to Mixon. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation.
What an advantage having an elite guy in the middle of the defensive line, because not only does he take up the space and let the linebackers run free, but can also make plays himself, as we just saw there.
And this is going to be intercepted. It's Shaq Thompson here with a pick. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. So how about that for a momentum switch?
We're in the 4th quarter, and it's a tie game. You've got to take care of the football here. Now their opportunity to take the lead right out the window, and everything is flipped in the other direction.
So Newton and the Panthers come up now 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line. Now following the interception, here's Newton. He'll drop it off to McCaffrey. 6 yards on the pickup, and that'll make this a 2nd down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
McCaffrey on the counter. And a 42-yard line here and brought down there. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football. In that situation, it's almost a tendency breaker.
They go play action here on 1st down. It's caught on the right side at Smith. 23 yards on the play. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
And caught left side, Olsen. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
That hold coming from the left side of the line.
Hands got caught in the cookie jar on that one, and the flag came out. Penalty against him.
Newton. Flushed out right. The 20. He's got Smith here. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 15, just shy of the 10. And that one results in 35 yards.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a first down.
On the ball, on the ball, on the ball, on the ball. Gun.
Newton going to hand it off to McCaffrey. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Back to the ground. This time it's Anderson. And he's going to ball his way in for a Panther score. C.J. Anderson, a 6-yard touchdown run. And the Panthers have broken our tie as they take the lead.
Did you see them hold up 4 fingers at the start of the fourth quarter?
They were ready.
They were definitely ready. They may or may not have done that, but they certainly have played that way. The fourth quarter has belonged to them, and now the lead belongs to them as well.
Gano the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. A drive that time of 6 plays, and it's C.J. Anderson who tops it off with the touchdown run. Gano out to kick this one away. The Bengals offense now, they head back onto the field. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. No gain there on the completion. 2nd and 10.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or 2 miss, but that window closed quickly.
False start, offense.
That's going to set him back 5 yards. And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. Dalton throwing on 2nd down. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. His big tight end, Tyler Eifert, the intended receiver. And it'll bring up 3rd down.
Sometimes the coverage is so good, no matter what you're doing on offense, you just can't shake anyone free. They try their best to find someone open, but they took away every passing alley, every angle, and shut the play down.
He's got his man here. It's Green. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. A.J. Green, an 80-yard touchdown. And the Bengals are an extra point away from tying up this football game. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for a touchdown.
And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Carolina getting set to take the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
That good for 19 and a first down. Break. We'll come back and see how it all shakes out after this. So it's Panther football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Now a play fake here on first down. Caught left side by Funchess. And he's brought down. The 15 yards there on the catch and run. First down now, but that clock rolling. This is McCaffrey on the give. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
I like it. I like the call. Still an opportunity to run the football and chew up a little more time off the clock.
Again, they run. Again, it's McCaffrey. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. And now the Bengal defense here calling a timeout. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. Now Newton. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked by Nick Vigil. And the return just out across the 15 to the 16-yard line. Well, they thought they were going to break the tie. The defense had other plans. They were already in field goal range. But boom, an interception.
I don't know if this was a case of being a little bit too greedy with the opportunity to put points on the board. But give credit to the guys on the defensive side. Hung in there, battled, and made a key play.
That one good for 15, and the Bengals get a first down. Big spot, Andy Dalton. He finds Ross, right side, it's complete. And he takes this one all the way across midfield into enemy territory down to the 40-yard line. A really good pickup of 28 yards. Dalton wants to throw. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. Call it a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll bring up second down. So now Dalton toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. He was looking for John Ross that time. And it's third down.
Now we're in the situation where the quarterback's got to take full charge of his huddle. Got to totally command it, make sure all eyes are on him. All focus is locked in. Going to call multiple plays and go over different situations and scenarios to make sure everyone is on the same page.
And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. It'll be a 3-yard gain, and that'll bring up fourth down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players in.
Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. Now it's scooped up, and this is a line football.
That was a nicely executed block there. But sometimes it's not just the kicker who feels the pressure in this situation.
Well, I think a lot of people could feel pressure on the offensive side. The defense a little more loose with it.
Yeah, listen, they're just going all out trying to get to the football. And to your point, the offensive guys, okay, who do I have? Who am I blocking? If that changes in the defensive front, does that change what we do in our blocking assignment? And sometimes that confusion or that tightness can lead to a bad play.
And it keeps the game tied here late in the fourth. Now a final chance to stop it here as a timeout comes in with 10 seconds left in the game. They'll run it now out of the gun. There he goes inside the 30 and down to the 29-yard line. And now they're going to get the timeout. So a huge play has him in field goal range with a chance to possibly send this one to OT. So it all comes down to the right foot of Graham Gano. He's made 2, he's missed 1, this time for the win. And the clock will now stop as a timeout is called with 5 seconds left. So it all comes down to the right foot of Graham Gano. He's hit 2, he's missed 1. This for the win. And his kick is good. And it's celebration time on that sideline as they have taken the lead in the final seconds. And in an era of cost-cutting and maximizing your roster, this is a club that does not skimp on special teams, and in these situations, it pays dividends.
And that's great vision by the organization. When the difference between winning or losing depends on who you have kicking the ball, would you rather have a street free agent out there or a solid pro like this? Answer's pretty evident to me.
It's do or die for Dalton. Now a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off by Rashawn Golden. And that's how this one ends. A dramatic fashion in overtime with the interception. Well, we were on hand for a fun and entertaining game here, coming down really to that last play. Great job defensively to get the pick and seal it.
And we know that every play during a game matters. You're never sure which one's going to be one of the key ones. But at the end of the game, when you analyze it, 3, 4, 5 plays are going to be the ones you focus on. And that last play was one of them. The last shot had to take it, and they came up with the interception and sealed their victory.
So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. With that, we say so long from Cincinnati.